You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am one half of the host of The Burning Truth. I am none other than Matt Baines. And with me is the other half of The Burning Truth, or the host, none other than JB, also known as...
Oh, you're waiting for me to say it. Hi, yeah, John Bloor. Hi, I'm here.
Of course, you have to introduce yourselves.
I am the voice of reason, John Bloor, or at least I like to think I am.
To some degree.
Yes. Oh, I know I'm JB. I just like to think I'm the voice of reason. Let's not get existential here.
Yeah, why not? But anyway, interesting. Well, how do we say this? A bit of a unique week, this is.
Yeah. Just doing things a little bit different this week.
Yeah. Basically, this week is going to be a bit of a special. And
Yeah.
the fact that we're going to be discussing some bad finishes. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, but why are you doing it on the live episode?
Yeah, a lot of people are probably saying that now. And the answer, honestly, is... Where do we even start with this week in wrestling?
There is some general up. There is some up moments, there's some down moments, but... It's because generally, in some cases, we've got a lot of catching up to do, and it might be better us off leaving it this week for this week, because we don't want it to be a ranty episode.
We really don't want it to just be an hour of both of us going, oh my God, people, what's wrong with you? This is rubbish. This is dreadful. What's going on? You know, all downers, all rants is not good. So we decided to just go down the route of a special instead on a single subject that is not related to anything we've specifically seen this week. It's just a bit of fun. It's a list that we've compiled that we hope will lead you to be interactive with us across the Burning Truth social media.
Correct. And it's one thing, and who knows, this could actually change into a bit of a format for the Burning Truth going forward, depending on how well it's received and how we generally feel. Because as much as I will stay trying to keep up with the news each week, it does get difficult.
It really does. We both have full-time jobs to work around, and we're human beings, not robots, so we also need to sleep. Finding the time to keep up with the constant stream of everything that's going on all across the world of professional wrestling is occasionally a bit difficult. But
You sleep.
I try.
You actually get sleep.
About 3 hours a week on average.
More than me.
Oh, well, I suddenly feel lucky with my 3 hours a week.
More than me.
Wow. Yeah, well, the point being, keeping up with our lives is difficult enough. So keeping up with the wrestling world is occasionally more than we can deal with. Case in point, I still haven't watched this week's NXT yet, so I can't really talk about it.
True. And let me just point out, when I just stated I'm not getting to sleep, we are joking, of course, just to point that out.
Yeah, just in case anyone's listening that is worried by that. No, we're just comedic effect. We're both just about scraping by on enough sleep. Thank you.
We are getting plenty of sleep. We are doing fine. It's just there's only so many hours of the day that we can be doing the research. But instead, it might be a format we change to, because instead of us ranting on about the current escapades and everything, why not instead of us look back on some past stuff?
There's a whole world of wrestling history that we can look back on. And although this week's theme is generally a sort of humorous look at the negative side, there are many of these lists and best ofs and top tens and bests and worst we can do. As many bests as worsts, so they're not always going to be necessarily negative.
Yep.
But like I say, it's just an excuse for us to have a bit of a laugh at the times when either wrestling didn't take itself too seriously or it didn't quite realise how much we, as the viewing public, wouldn't take it seriously in light of what it was doing.
Yeah. Could not have said that better myself.
Yeah. So what was it this weekend? Would you like to tell the fantastic listeners at home, in their car, wherever they may be listening to this, what the subject is for this week?
It is none other than bad finishers.
Yes. You know, the signature move of a big wrestler, the one that usually is hit right before the end of the match, or if it's a pay-per-view match, is hit 4 times for successive 2 counts, and then the match ends. You know what we're talking about.
True.
From knockout punches to choke slams, this is a comprehensive list of all the most awful finishers in the world of wrestling. Now, I'd just like to immediately take that back. I have nothing against the Big Show, so mentioning both his finishers was perhaps not the best choice of words there. And B, a choke slam is not a terrible finisher. But the point being...
Let me just point this out. You do realise that if he hits you with them finishers, they would actually finish you?
Yes, I'm well aware of this.
So in actual fact, they are actually good finishers.
No, yeah, I'm saying they aren't necessarily bad finishers, but the point is, from simply being punched in the head right the way through to being hoisted 8 feet in the air and laid out flat on your back, finishing moves can be anything, and some, like those, are better thought out than others.
Ooh.
The intention for this week is the ones that weren't quite so well thought out. Do you know what? I think I've saved that. Quick, move on. Let's get started.
Yeah. Let us get started. Where shall we begin? Do you want to begin or do you want me?
I think I would like to go first, if you don't mind.
Don't mind, please do.
And I would like to... We both have lists. I think we've got the same lists. I'm not sure.
We may do.
But I think we need to start in a place of filth and, general sort of bringing wrestling downness.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry I have to do this because his is not a name we mention often, but Joey Ryan, you're up.
Oh.
Now, in this case, the move itself, nothing much wrong with it. It's all right. It's perfectly acceptable. It's a good wrestling finisher. It's just what he chose to call it that's the problem.
Joey Ryan.
Yes.
Are you sure you're... It depends on which finisher you're on about.
The one named after the adult entertainment website.
Hang on. You are actually okay with the move itself?
I might possibly have got it confused with something else. Knowing Joey Ryan, I probably have, because it's probably not as wholesome.
Before we get any further, let's just get the disclaimer out quickly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We need to do a disclaimer on this.
Please get the disclaimer out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to issue a belated early warning that the following show may contain scenes and storylines not suitable for sensitive listeners, not suitable for younger viewers, and which may not be suitable for other viewers. There may be adult themes involved, and this show may also contain strobe lighting effects.
And, of course, if you, instead of saying viewers, switch that to listeners as well.
Well, yeah, it's a multimedia world. I forget. Listeners, it is good.
Yeah, just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah,
but anyway,
because...
the point being is there is going to be certain topics or certain moves that we are going to have to cover on this show that is going to be very adult-themed. And this is through not our fault.
This is through the fault of those who do the moves and their brains coming up with these things. Some are from the Attitude Era, which means they were decidedly more risque than they needed to be because they felt they could get away with it back then. Some of them are just plain rude and or stupid. But basically, if you think you have sensitive ears and you might be easily offended, this episode might not be for you.
Yeah. Right, I
as
believe...
is issued, or as is pointed out and underlined perfectly by Mr. Bringing Sleazy back himself, Joey Ryan.
Yes, continue on. I'd like to know what you're thinking this move is.
I am now frantically internet search engineing it because knowing what this man is responsible for other such moves.
Just tell me what you thought it was, and I will reveal if it is or not.
I just thought that it would be him trying to really needlessly and gratuitously shoehorn his cock into the doing of a suplex.
Yes.
Yes. I haven't actually physically worked out how he would do that, never having seen it. I just know the name's bad enough.
Basically, what my colleague is stating is, the move is called the YouPorn Plex.
Yes. Suplex, named after an adult entertainment website.
It's not a suplex. Let's just call it what Ken Shamrock called it best.
What did Ken Shamrock call it?
Oh, you're the guy that does the move with the dick. That's the dick flip.
Oh, is that what it is?
He basically flips him over with his dick.
Yeah.
Because they grab him.
Yeah,
or he places his hands there. Which, to be honest with you, in my mind, part of me thinking to myself, lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit.
Yeah. Yes, it's basically just lowest common denominator, like old, end of the pier smut masquerading as wrestling. It's a complete suspension of disbelief fail, and it's Joey Ryan needlessly making reference to the area of him that nobody needs to know exists or think about.
Yeah.
Although I've got to be honest, I did quite like the clip that I saw of an indie match that he did recently with Addie Starr, where she turned the tables on him, shall we say. Yeah. Like you were saying, potential lawsuit waiting to happen, but I suppose if the performer in question is up for it.
It's just...
But yeah, generally speaking, it's just dragging wrestling into a gutter that it spent a lot of time trying to get out of in the past and doesn't really need to be dragged back in, in the sense that it's lowbrow, it's silly, it ruins suspension of disbelief, and just stop it, basically.
Let me just point out, I am neither nor ranting in regards to this because he is over here soon.
Yes.
In the UK. Soon to be wrestling at Academy Pro Wrestling.
That's fair enough.
Just to point that out.
Just in case this hasn't put you off and you actually think, well, I'd like to see how that works in person. If you are one of the 2 people in the country that thinks that, great, go buy a ticket and support Academy Pro Wrestling. They'll thank you for it.
But do you understand that some of his moves are very risque?
Yes, he is a throwback to the worst excesses of the Attitude Era. He's decidedly not TVPG, and his finisher is stupid, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. Well,
always got to get that disclaimer out there, just in my opinion.
I'm pretty sure I know one person who'd probably agree with you. Guaranteed.
You mean as well as Ken Shamrock?
No, Ken Shamrock was laughing about it.
Oh, I see. But you think there's one person out there who'd agree with me that it's childish and puerile and a little bit pointless?
Yeah, that'd be none other than Jim Cornette. But we'll not continue on mentioning his name any further.
Well, like I say, we'll not mention him any further, but wow, I never thought the day would come when I'd agree with him on something. But yes, wow.
There you go.
Lovely. So this is an idea of the depths to which we have to plumb here. Okay, not all the moves are going to basically be adult oriented, but most of them will be this crap, if not worse.
Sadly, because you've now let that out the bag.
Yeah.
I've got to follow up. after that.
Are you going to lower the tone further?
Potentially.
Oh dear. I think I know where you might be going with this, but I'm just going to let you say it.
Yeah. This is on. The move has been done previously by Chrissy Hemme.
Yep.
And is currently being used by Sonny Kiss.
A performer for whom the word controversy is a mild understatement.
Everyone is different, everyone's unique. We're not stating that fact. Far from it.
No. Everyone is allowed to be exactly who they want to be, and no restrictions should be placed on who you are in any way. But how can I put this in a way that people will understand? He somewhat takes delight in rubbing the more prosaic members of the audience up the wrong way on purpose.
But he's a fan favourite on AEW as well.
Yes.
So, we are not against any. We're not.
This is no slight on him. This is a slight on the move.
On the move itself, because it's more the name, if I'm honest with you.
Yes.
Now, Chrissy Hemme, when she used it, they ended up at one point abbreviating it.
Yes.
Although I will say, I'm trying to remember one of the old commentators on what used to be TNA during the old days.
Would that have been Mike Tenay or Don West?
Don West.
Okay.
I believe it was Don West who screamed out the full name in, how to say, unglorious fashion. Huh?
Live on pay-per-view, no doubt.
And on weekly television.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, the move in question.
Let's just go for the clean version.
Okay.
Because Hemme called it the FFG.
Yes. What that stood for, the viewer at home was free to speculate at their own free will.
Until Mr. West decided to blurt it out in full.
Yes.
The move is called Flying Fire Crotch Guillotine.
Yes. Are we talking here essentially a sort of like deranged version of
A leg drop?
Zack Ryder's jumping leg drop?
No.
No. Oh, no. Oh, yes.
I'd say more of a modified second rope leg drop, maybe. But anyway,
Yeah.
Sonny Kiss decided to use the move. And what did Sonny Kiss call it?
Let me just warn everyone at home. You may have come to the conclusion that this show is pretty lowbrow by now. It will get higher, but this might possibly be the lowest bar. If you're thinking somewhere in the gutter, you've probably got the level about right. I will just warn you, though, you probably haven't thought quite as far in the gutter as he did when he came up with this name.
It's called the vagina drop.
Whilst I'm sure, perfectly anatomically correct if Christy Hemme did it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, not so much if Sonny Kiss does it, but never mind. That appears to not be the point.
We don't know if the post-op, re-op, whatever he is, whatever
I did say
they are.
possibly not. I'm not. That's not my job to speculate. The point is, it's a spectacularly average move brought to unnecessary prominence by an unnecessarily vulgar name.
On either side. Now,
yes.
In case anybody wants to know what it is, how do I explain this one?
Did you just say like second rope springboard leg drop?
No. Well, second rope, they stand up, they they throw one leg up,
Yeah.
high above the head, hold it, and drop off, and keep hold of their foot.
Like fall forwards. Yes, I think I know what you mean.
And fall forwards into a leg drop position.
Yes.
Now, the move itself, effective.
takes quite a lot of athletic ability to do perfectly and to be safe yourself. Yeah,
Yep.
effective. Nothing wrong with it. Just that name, or just both those names, really.
It shows flexibility on the wrestlers themselves. It's an impressive move. It's just the name doesn't suit it.
No.
And that's why I'm leaving it.
Yeah, we'll leave it there, and let's take it a little bit further down the whimsy and stupid aisle, as opposed to the willfully offensive aisle. Is it my turn next?
It's your turn next.
Then I would like to mention the finishing move, everyone's second favourite finishing move, involving a sock puppet.
Oh.
Yes, that's right. I am, of course, referring to Santino Marella's, in inverted commas, beloved Cobra.
Oh, dear.
Just in case anyone's wondering, everyone's second favourite, because, of course, everyone's favourite finishing move involving a sock puppet is, of course, Mr. Socko on the Mandible Claw. Which somehow, despite being a sock puppet and being a nerve hold under the tongue, because it was Mick Foley doing it, you didn't laugh. You believed it was legit.
But then again, the Mandible Claw does look legit.
But even when he had a badly drawn face on one of his sweat socks and he was calling it Mr. Socko.
But take into account, regardless of it, either he's making you hit the deck from his Mandible Claw from the pain, or he's making you pass out from a sweaty sock that's been down his pants.
Which is then being shoved in the place where you're trying to breathe. Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
There's some legitimacy to that.
Yeah, but the Cobra, on the other hand, yeah, okay. This is a sort of similar cousin, in essence, to what I'm going to have to pair it with here, which is the Samoan spike that Umaga used to use.
There's a difference, though.
I'm sure it's... What, and what would that be?
Well, no, I can't.
It's a similar kind of thing in that it basically, at worst, it would appear to be a mild inconvenience rather than a way to comprehensively finish a wrestling match.
No,
you know?
the Cobra is a mild inconvenience. The Samoan spike, I did originally consider that on my list, but I'm taking it off.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's not a finishing move. It's a mild inconvenience.
It is, the Cobra is. Where the Samoan spike, I'm going to take it off the list because that I've looked into the move, done the research, and oh, good lord, that could legitimately finish you.
Well, okay. Fair point. Well made, but yeah.
As anybody can turn around and say, oh, that's a Samoan spike, which is basically a thumb to the throat.
Yes.
Well, just put that into your head. Just push your throat, your thumb into your throat a little bit.
Yeah, and then imagine a 300-pound Samoan is doing it as hard as he possibly can.
You're pretty much going to be gasping for air.
Yes, but
you may have a broken thumb after.
Yeah, that is one end of the scale. The Cobra is the incredibly silly, appealing to 8-year-olds other end of the scale, and it just... Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, fair enough, it probably sold quite a lot of sock puppet merch, but it's not my idea of a good finisher.
And just take into account, he didn't used to always do it with a sock. Or with a puppy.
No.
Oh dear.
Moving swiftly on, your turn.
Oh, I've got to follow that up.
I'm afraid you have.
Right. I'm gonna have to bring out the big guns now.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to bring out one of the most modern day wrestlers who is considered the man of the modern era.
Becky Lynch.
Not that man.
Oh, okay. You didn't make that clear. Fair enough.
No, not that man.
You are referring to an actual male man, not the man, Becky Lynch.
Who hasn't been wrestling for a while. He has been making movies.
You are, of course, referring to the man whose mother calls him Dwayne.
No. I am
Ah.
not.
Okay.
I'm on about the person who actually was kicking off at Dwayne at one point.
You are not referring to The Rock, and therefore you are not referring to the People's Elbow. So,
No.
to who and to what are you referring?
I'm referring to John Cena.
Oh dear. Which one of his barrage of awful maneuvers would you be referring? His finisher? His submission finisher? The one that isn't a finisher, but where he basically just pulls on the tongue of his trainers? The man's got a catalogue of these.
It doesn't require a lift. He ended up doing it on a show where he ended up hitting his actual finisher, and then instead of pinning him, using this additional move. It was almost like the addition, the one extra above the 5 move of Doom. It's the 6th move of Doom.
The 6th move of Doom?
Yeah.
You mean such a thing exists?
The one that he learned while on film overseas.
Oh, yes. I know where you're going with this, but just in case the listeners don't, would you like to put them out of their misery?
I am not going to say the original the original name of it. I'm going to be saying the translated name of it. He calls it the Lightning Fist.
Yes.
Hey,
Mr. Cena, congratulations. You finally officially made the AA look devastating and unbeatably final.
I'm fine with the AA.
I'm fine with it as a move. I just don't think it's particularly a big ending of a match move.
No,
I do.
I do.
Okay.
I'm fine with it being a big finish move. It's a big move. It requires a lot of strength, and he can, and for his size, he can do it on everyone.
Well, that's true.
Right? To change to say that's not his move to finish with, it's basically a backhand.
Yes.
Basically, he is pimp slapping his opponents.
See also Chris Jericho's spinning back fist. They're in the same, well, that's a disappointment kind of territory, really.
You're on about the Judas effect. There's a difference. With Jericho's, that could legit knock you out.
If he's looking at you when he's doing it and he hits you in a very precise area, neither of which is the case.
I've seen MMA fights won with a back elbow.
Oh, fair enough.
I have seen it won. That's why I don't include the Judas effect.
No, that's fine. But John Cena, you definitely get on the list for...
He basically doesn't... to be honest with you, I think the fact that if he pimp slapped them would be more effective.
And more damning a condemnation of a finishing move you will not probably hear until the next one we move on to on the list.
It's not that, it's just, what the hell? It's a back fist. I wouldn't even call it a back fist. It's a back tap.
Yes, I know. In much the same vein as where we find ourselves moving next.
Right, but it's just...
Yes.
It's more... Right, I understand that there is showmanship in wrestling. Yes, I'm fine with that. I understand it's all theatrics. But you know it's bad when people are booing the damn move.
Yes.
And I feel so
people
sorry
who,
for
by the
Elias.
way, have been conditioned to believe that John Cena's arsenal of moves, as they are actually okay and acceptable.
As much as he had 5 moves of Doom, if he legitimately grabbed you and threw you around with them moves, he could end you.
Well, that is true. Well, but some of those moves, not this particular one.
No.
Yeah, which leads us nicely on to the next move that I'm going to choose off the list.
Go on.
Now, the person in question who does this move, I think there's more than one, but the one I'm going to single out, can dress in clothes that glow in the dark and give it a fancy name all she wants. But basically, an arse in the face is not a finishing maneuver.
I can see where you're going with this. You know that somebody else uses it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that there's at least a couple of beyond reproach in the internet community Japanese wrestlers that use or have used it in the past.
Well, I believe Asuka might have used it in the past.
There's a fine example.
Might have used something like it.
Something similar, yes, but
Yeah.
no one does it with quite the finality of Naomi.
But, yeah.
It's called officially the rear view, and that's essentially what it boils down to. She comes off the ropes, and
I think she
Posterior
did start developing
face.
a new finisher. She did start developing a new finisher. She did start developing one.
I see.
She did. But
No,
this
no,
is an
that's
old
not
finisher,
disputed.
I think.
Yeah, this is an old one, but the development of a new finisher was long overdue, shall we say, because that one is
Yeah.
fundamentally subpar.
Just to point this out, my colleague is saying that jumping up and landing your arse in someone's face
I know some shady types who pay good money to have that happen, but it's not a good end to a wrestling match.
Why did I just think lawsuit?
Disclaimer, that was a joke, and I also didn't mention anyone specifically, so...
I wasn't stating us.
No, I wasn't either. You put that thought in everyone's head.
No, I'm just saying lawsuit because of the fact that they're willingly putting their arse in someone's face.
Yeah, exactly. It's shady, it's not a match finisher, it's a little bit...
What more can you say?
Yeah, let's move on.
How do we go from that? Where the hell do we go from here?
Well, if we're going back and forward, you've got to come up with something. But if you don't mind me coming up with another one, I can come up with an equally unpleasant, random human anatomy in your face type move, if you like.
I'm thinking we might need to go away. It makes it worse. I just had a relook at the list, and I was just about to say go away from the butt of the bad finishes, and I've just realised a lot of them have butts in them.
Yeah, quite a lot of them involve the human undercarriage. It's a sort of running theme of terrible finishes, is that for some reason people seem to think that, yeah, this is either a good way to end a wrestling match or funny or things that in reality they just aren't, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it could be worse. I thought of one that doesn't involve the arse,
Go on.
but makes a right one of you if you get stuck with it.
Can I just go with mine first?
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to keep it short, sweet. Fantasia.
Yes.
Hang on.
Fantasio, WCW wrestling magician. Am I right?
Yeah. He only came once. Now you're all thinking, but that doesn't count. He only appeared once.
Trust me, plenty of wrestling fans have needed therapy to pretend it didn't happen even the once, so it counts.
The fact that I saw it once was enough. It is so bad, I can't help but damn well remember it.
Yeah, like I said, expensive therapy required.
No kidding. Now, what makes it worse is, because it has only happened once, they didn't even have an official name for it.
It doesn't have a flashy name, no.
No. Would you like to know what it is?
I already know, sadly, like I said, expensive therapy and all that, but please enlighten the listeners at home.
He basically, and check this out, somehow magically pulls his opponent's boxers, briefs, underwear out.
While they're still otherwise fully dressed, I would just like to clarify.
Yeah, while still fully dressed. And does a schoolboy. A roll-up.
Of said now bereft of underwear but otherwise fully dressed person.
Yeah. He doesn't even
There's
throw
nothing
the
that...
boxes at him.
actually necessarily hurts. Yeah, you don't even get a face full of your own skids. It's just like, look, I've got your pants. Hey, schoolboy roll up, right? Run away before you realise what's happened.
And then the person like, what's going on? He pulled me underwear.
What's going on? What's that wind? Why am I cold?
And then he removes the underwear of the referee after the match, which was,
It's sort of like, the trick bombed once. You really shouldn't have bothered to do it again, but thanks. Get out of the ring. Go.
Now, I'm not sure if this was before Papa Shango or anything. But
I'm thinking it was considerably after, because Papa Shango was a pre-Attitude Era gimmick. It was in the very early 90s.
yeah, this with Papa Shango, he had the voodoo gimmick, which was all great. Now, this could have been more light-hearted fun, streamers, as he was doing it in the match.
No.
Removing someone's boxers and doing a schoolboy does not scream finish.
This was the Attitude Era, so
No, I don't think this was even Attitude Era, was it? It wasn't even Attitude Era. Before Attitude Era.
Oh, so are we talking about the same time as the... Yeah.
We're talking the Rise of HBK era.
So, early 90s, about the same time as Papa Shango.
I'd say Papa Shango was a bit before.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think we need to move on, because we need to basically have one more trip to the "ooh, that's disgusting" sort of file, and from that point we'll move on to moves that hopefully aren't
one of
disgusting but are just hopeless.
Well, one of each possibly of disgusting.
Oh, okay. I think I know where you're going to go, especially when I say, hey, right, I've got the finish, guys. It's great. What we're going to do, right, is we're going to shove your face in our armpit, and that's going to knock you out for 3 seconds. Step up the living up to their name horribly nasty boys and the pit stop. Shudder involuntarily at the thought of having your face shoved anywhere near the fat, sweaty mess that was Brian Knobbs, much less in his armpit.
And take this into account. The one I've got for after is worse.
This list has descended thoroughly into the gutter and is trying its best to get lower than the gutter, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, literally a genuine finisher of the Nasty Boys in the early 90s in the WWF. I think they might have took it with them when they went to WCW later on. But yeah, opponent's face shoved and rubbed vigorously in your tag team partner's armpit, the pit stop. No, thank you. How do you get lower than that? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Burns is about to tell you.
I'm just trying to brace myself right now.
Yeah, deep breath, brace yourself.
Because I've got to explain this. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah. Is your move possibly the one that I think it is, named after, or rather done by the man who is named after what happens when you sneeze?
Potentially.
Yeah. Good old Bastian Snotrag. I mean, Booger.
It's done by Bastian Booger, and the move is called Trip to the Batcave.
Trip to the Batcave. Now that conjures up slightly surreal, but possibly not disgusting image of, like Batcaves. That could be a euphemism. This is potentially going downhill here, but I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, the actual move itself, it revels in your very worst fears of what a name like that could possibly mean.
Now, take into account I'm a comic book geek fan. This mentally scars me.
Yes, because now every time, you think of the actual Batcave, you're linked in your mind with Bastian Booger, you poor sod.
Whenever someone says Batcave, whenever I see it, it holds me.
In much the same way that whenever I see a serious thing on Twitter or on social media about the American politician lady Kamala Harris, I'm immediately mentally picturing a rather fat man with moons and stars painted on his man boobs.
No comment to that.
Yes. But anyway, trip to the Batcave. Put us out of our misery. What could it possibly mean?
Basically, he gets his opponents down. He stands over them.
Yes.
Over their head. The upper one. Does a little dance.
Namely, shakes his enormous, crammed into an ill-fitting singlet arse around.
And proceeds to drop onto his knees, landing his lower region onto the face, neck, and possibly chest.
Essentially, what you're saying is it's a sort of small child giggles at the thought of it level of badly thought out version of an earthquake.
Nope. I'm just going to call it what it is. This is the precursor of... This, I'm going to have to link this into gaming right now.
Okay.
Somehow, to just make sense of it. Basically, if anybody's ever played Halo or anything, ever heard the term teabagging?
I was going to say, who are the guys in ICW that briefly had a move that involved that?
Kinky Party, possibly?
Possibly.
The point being is...
Yeah, it's basically...
It can be referenced as a technical term.
The apology here has already been put out, so the language that is about to be used is... Well, if you're still here and you're of a sensitive disposition, you might want to put your fingers in your ears and hum for 5 seconds. Basically, it's a fat man's bollocks in your face.
Basically.
Yeah, a fat man's sweaty, hot, been stuffed in a far too tight singlet for about 10 minutes, ball bag in your face.
What makes it worse is he dances before he does it.
I know. What, is he trying to work them loose or something?
What, is he working up a sweat?
It doesn't bear thinking about. I'm sure. I've got the all overs. Ugh.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway,
right, enough of the body-related filth. Let's just move on to moves that are just a bit poorly thought out or a bit crap, and move away from the balls in the face if we possibly can.
Unfortunately, there is one more on my list, but we're not covering it this week.
That's all right then. Thank heavens for that.
We're not covering it this week. Good lord. There's only so much we can take.
Yeah, let's just move on to something from the pre-Attitude Era, which is not suggestive or sexual or rude or particularly X-rated. It's just stupid.
Go on.
Step forward, the Goon.
Ooh,
Now, as if the gimmick of a professional wrestler who is moonlighting as such when he's not a hockey player wasn't stupid enough.
You have surprised me with that, because if I'm not mistaken, that was on my list.
Well, I've got a list of like 35 things here. I've probably got all of them.
Yeah, but even so, I'm well happy that you agree with me.
It's dreadful.
What makes it worse is this move is... How many finishing moves do you know that can't be done in the ring?
I was going to say, the big 20-foot square thing with borders made of 3 ropes and 4 sets of turnbuckles that you do the majority of your fight in.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't hit your finishing move in that incredibly expansive framework, you've got a problem.
Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, huh?
Well, you can't hit it in a ring. What are you talking about? Just apply a bit of lateral thought here, right? He's pretending to be a professional wrestler by night and ice hockey player by day.
Now, let me just state this. I understand the terminology of the move.
Yes.
It could very well be done in the ring.
Using the turnbuckles.
Yes.
But no, that wasn't good enough. The name of the move is the check into the boards.
Now, let me just state this.
Those of you who are familiar with ice hockey, you will immediately know in an ice hockey context what that means.
And you'll probably be going, that would finish a match.
Yes. And if you're a North American person, apologies for the use of the word ice there, but we call it that this side of the pond, so.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Logically, yes. It would finish a match. But the fact that you have to throw them out of the ring and hit it on them up against the guardrail between the ring and the crowd.
The not even the guardrail.
No?
No.
The ring apron?
On the side of the ring.
The ring apron. Yeah, because that's more solid and less liable to tip over and fall on some fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no lawsuits.
No. But you do have to send someone outside the ring, channel Kevin Owens 20 years too early, smash someone back first into the outside of the ring, scoop up the remains of them, put them back in the ring, and then pin them.
It makes it worse. He didn't even do that.
No?
He only won with count-outs.
Oh. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the sound level of disappointment that I'd been
trying to avoid.
Expensive therapy sessions to try and forget, but which has just washed back over me like the nausea of a pit stop.
Now, a lot of people are saying, why is that a bad idea? He's got to be a villain then. Yes. He is.
No.
Now, you're a wrestler, right? If you're a wrestler... Oh no, if you are a wrestler, if you were him, he has missed one monumentous flaw. Now, I am a wrestler.
I have been known to try and play at being one occasionally in the past.
And there's a monumentous flaw in that move. Do you know what it is, JB?
I do, but go on, explain.
It's for the fact that the record I just stated is the fact that he's never used that finisher to finish the match in the ring. What's the flaw?
Well, the flaw with that is not a very devastating finisher results in needing a 10 count to win, not a 3 count.
True. Which is...
That's the main flaw that I can think of.
It does oversell the move, saying they keep him down for 10 seconds. Now, you do realise that move basically renders the Goon only able to win a championship belt under a Falls Count Anywhere match or Last Man Standing.
Inside Hell in a Cell. Oh wait, no, hang on. Even Hell in a Cell requires a pinfall.
It wasn't around then.
Oh, okay, yeah, but fair point. Basically, 99% of the title matches that existed back then precluded the Goon from, should he even get that far and get into the match, winning the title.
He could have done it in a cage. Potentially.
Yes.
Potentially. But other than that, in a singles match,
titles do not change hands on a count out. Oops.
And there we have it.
Yes. Very, very, very silly.
And there we have it.
Right. So, not necessarily an awful move, just a bit of a terrible name, a shoehorned into the gimmick, and dreadful situation in which it has to win the match.
Yeah.
So that goes under not terrible, but you haven't really thought this through, have you?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go from there?
Right. I'm going to have to go with a wrestler that is now on NXT.
that is now on NXT. Ooh. I am just looking for on my list to see if I can find who you mean.
They have been on the main roster, part of a tag team, likes his fashion.
Ah, I know who you're talking about.
Oh my god, it's Tyler!
Oh my god, it's the world's ugliest pretty boy.
That's not my opinion. That's not Matt Burns' opinion or the Burning Truth.
Well, it kind of... No, to be fair, that isn't that the tag they always used to label Christian with. Equally unfairly, I think. But
yeah.
Anyway, the point being, it's King Selfie himself.
Tyler Breeze.
Yeah.
The move is called the Beauty Shot.
Yes.
Now, the issue I have with it is it's not the actual move itself I have the issue with.
The move itself, which is, just in case people aren't familiar with it,
it's a spinning wheel kick.
Yes.
Now, I have no doubt that could knock you out.
Yeah.
Potentially. It's the fact that he's got a trademark move that is more known for finishing matches.
Well, hang on. That's his finisher, but he has a different move which is more known for finishing matches.
Supermodel kick.
Yes.
Yeah, that would do it.
Your finisher's not your finisher because you've got a more devastating one. Oopsie.
Now, in case anybody wants to know what the supermodel kick is, it's a super kick.
It's basically created in probably the dawn of prehistory, perfected by Shawn Michaels' super kick, although he's just added the word model to it because that's what he pretends to be.
Right, now, we have seen him use it as a finish to the match.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And we hope he continues to use that as a finisher. Please do.
Please do. Please quietly drop the other one and just stick with the actual finisher that is proven to be a legitimate finisher. Please, thank you.
Yeah. Need we say more?
No, we need not.
Need to say more?
Nope, not at all.
Right.
Right.
We
now move.
Sorry? One more each?
I think we can do one more. A couple more each, maybe. Because, well, I've got two, but mine are sort of linked because they're similar in execution.
I'm going to say possibly one more each because we are... No,
that's fine. But like I say, I'm going to say it's technically the same move, but it's just a slightly different execution done by two different people, and they're both terrible.
Go on then.
And they both have puntastic names.
Oh dear.
Step forward. Oh, and this is going to get me some flack, I know, because a lot of people are going to be like, you can't say that! But I can, and I'm about to. Step forward, Matt Riddle and AJ Styles. First of all,
whoa.
What?
So you're gonna go down that? You're gonna go down there?
I'm gonna go down the god-awfully named Bro Derek. I shudder just saying that out loud. And Styles Clash Road, yes, is the most overrated finishing maneuver in the history of anything. It is basically suspending a guy upside down and then very gently lying him on his face.
You do realise that you've also included somebody in that list involuntarily.
Confusion.
We are talking the wife of The Undertaker.
Really?
Michelle McCool?
Yes, I know who the wife of The Undertaker is. Did she use a Styles Clash as well?
Yes. She called it the Faith Breaker?
Yeah. It doesn't matter who uses it, who they're married to, or whether they are from about the year 2000 to now's unblemishable, undefeatable best wrestler in the industry, AJ. Your finisher's crap. End of discussion.
If I'm not mistaken, hasn't AJ Styles moved away from it?
Yes, he now largely uses a phenomenal forearm, which is infinitely more painful, more likely to finish a match, and less shit. So I applaud him for that. But seriously, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack on this on the social media of The Burning Truth from the diehard AJ fans, but go and actually watch him hit it on anyone who isn't about the same body weight as him. The distance their face moves from when he hooks his leg around their arms to when he's gone from standing to flat is about an inch and a half.
And take into account, you're saying this isn't a finishing move, yet it's injured wrestlers.
I'm not saying it isn't a finishing move. I'm saying it's a shit finishing move, because not only does it look like it doesn't hurt anyone, it's one which has a very narrow operating window, and as we've unfortunately seen, if it's executed wrongly, will legitimately injure someone.
Yeah.
Which makes it worse, in my opinion. It might have been salvageable if it wasn't for that. But the fact that you can legitimately injure someone with it, yeah, just retire it. It's not worth using.
Or if you are going to be using it, use it on somebody who knows how to take the move.
Yes.
Right.
I think that's me all negative down. I mean, I have got more, but time is against us. So let's have your last one, and then we'll wrap up.
Now, no. Let's just go back to you explained Styles Clash and Faith Breaker issue.
Yes.
Let's hear your issue with the Bo Derek.
It's basically the same move, except it's got one arm hooked behind the guy's back, isn't it?
No. It's basically, instead of him actually doing, it's not what you think. He actually gets him into a pile driver position.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the neuralizer. Possibly.
Neuralizer.
Cesaro?
Oh, yes. Yeah, which is slightly less terrible, but still, it's just the whole, the head goes from...
It's the same move. Oh dear. I believe you've just realised your error of your mistake.
I am now watching a YouTube video of the move. I think there is a move that he does which is similar. This may be it, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. Okay, Matt Riddle, you get a bye on this one.
Right. However,
I see what I've done wrong there. It's the other way round. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a Styles Clash done so it looks like it vaguely might hurt, because, they land on their back and there's a bit of impact there and possibly a bit of jeopardy.
Possibly.
That's the difference.
Right. Now, my issue... Right? Are you okay with... Are you taking that off the list?
The Bro Derek, yes. The Styles Clash, definitely
Guess
not.
what?
What?
Keep it on the list.
Okay. Fair enough.
I've got my point with it.
Yeah, it wasn't the move that I thought it was. It's not as serious as...
Right.
Well, it's not as terrible as a Styles Clash, but it's still pretty bad.
My issue is, and this is nothing against Cesaro either, both of them have got moves more devastating each.
Oh, absolutely. In their moves more devastating in their arsenal, which in the case of AJ he has moved towards, which is good. In the case of Matt Riddle, the guy can knock you out or choke you out 17 different ways, so he really doesn't need that move.
Bro to sleep.
Yes.
What's the other one? The knee one. The
other dreadful pun with the word bro in it, which has temporarily escaped me, but yeah.
Flash Bro or something,
Something like that, yeah.
or Bro Flash or something along them lines. And then you got Cesaro, who had a perfectly finish on the independent scene where he throws his opponents up, flapjack style, and European uppercuts them and called it Swiss Death.
Nothing wrong with that. That gets on a list of finishers called "Holy shit, he's legitimately killed him," as opposed to "God, that's lame," which is kind of what this is. So nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, it went in much the same vein as Kevin Owens' package pile driver, in that it wasn't deemed suitable for family-friendly WWE television, so it had to go.
Hell, the giant swing is more the finisher.
True. Tyler Breeze's airplane spin is more devastating, I've got to be honest.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Even though that did used to finish matches for Gorilla Monsoon.
In the early 1970s. We've moved on a bit since then.
Yes, we have. But anyway, the point being is, you just like the fact that I've just managed to save your bro Derek on the list.
Indeed, I appreciate that, because it's awful and it did deserve to be there, even if maybe I couldn't quite put together the reason why. You've saved it. Thank you.
You just like the fact that I've actually just argued against your own narrative, and then counteracted by supporting you.
Yeah, it's sort of a little confusing, but the general gist is it's still on the list, so cheers.
You're welcome.
Right, so what is your final...
My final
one for this particular episode? I mean, we've got enough to do another episode already, but
yeah,
what are you picking for your last one for this particular special?
1/2 of Too Cool.
Oh dear.
You didn't expect this.
I did. I kind of saw this coming. Just as a little spoiler for the future. Yep. His tag team partner, I nearly said his, but I believe it's his tag team partner's own father will have a move in the second part of this. Or is it his? I forget.
No. His tag team partner is the son of one who is on the list, but
yes,
I will be adding him on later.
Yeah, he'll be in the second part, or possibly the third part, depending on how distracted we get. But no, you are talking, of course, about Mr. Scotty. Oh, it's a bit warm in here, isn't it?
No, let's just go for it. Scotty 2 Hotty, who, if I'm not mistaken, was a police officer. Has been a police officer, and I believe it might have been a fireman.
Possibly.
So quite fitting with the name.
Understandable, perhaps. The move, however, less understandable.
Right. How do I explain this with sense?
It's basically a move that pricks do on a dance floor that takes about 5 minutes. Everyone stands around going, I'm really not supposed to be impressed with this shit, am I? And then a fist drop. And that's basically
It's not even a fist drop.
Oh, no, I lie. It's not a fist drop. It's a chop to the throat, which would have been absolutely fine in and of itself. It doesn't need the theatrics. That's the problem I have.
It's basically a very theatrical falling throat chop.
Yes.
Where one guy does a face jam next to the ropes.
Yep.
Hops around on one leg going, W-O-R-M.
And then
proceeds to do the dance move, the worm.
Before depositing the rather vicious-looking chop to the throat on someone who, if logic was applied, would have gone, sod this for a game of soldiers, and been 3 counties away by the time he's got there.
Yeah. Now, what makes this worse is that move has been updated recently.
Yes.
But it's not a finisher.
Please. No, it's not a finisher. And when a certain current member of the WWE roster uses it, I don't believe they even try and portray it as such.
No.
No, it's just a bit of fun in the middle of a match from someone who has forgotten what he's doing and isn't really being serious at that point.
Which is none other than Otis.
Otis Dozovich
Yeah.
of Heavy Machinery.
Yes, one half. And the difference is, he doesn't do the chop, he changes it into an elbow drop. And his version is called the Caterpillar.
Yes.
Now, I will give him his due. It's damn impressive on him.
Watching a guy of his size do that, yeah, damn impressive.
Yeah.
And the net result is regardless of any incredibly theatrical nonsense he's done beforehand, you wouldn't want to get elbow dropped by Otis. I'm sorry, but you wouldn't. As we say, it's not a match finisher. It's just an elbow drop that's going to seriously incapacitate you. But he doesn't portray it as anything else.
Yeah,
so
now
there's not a problem.
speaking from somebody who has uses a dancing gimmick, I'm kind of jealous of him.
What, because he can do it?
Yeah. And I can't.
Okay.
At least I'm honest.
No, I don't think I can either. I don't think I've ever tried, but I'm fairly certain I wouldn't be able to.
I attempted it once.
I think I tried it once.
No, I attempted it once. I don't remember how it resulted.
When the fourth slap around the face woke you up, how did you feel?
Sore.
Yeah, I can believe.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway. The worm. Unnecessarily
over
over theatrical, silly move, doesn't really do anything, doesn't need to exist because the chop to the throat's enough on its own.
Yeah, it is very theatrical. Now, there is some certain moves that are entertaining and are glorious by that standard, because how it looks. It is, from a wrestling point of view, it is a good move. A good wrestling move because it's very theatrical, it expresses enjoyment, and it brings a lot of people joy. To actually finish a match with it,
but from a purely match finishing sense, not so much.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to legit finish a fight with that.
No, absolutely not. No.
Right, I believe that's going to be it for this week's episode.
A little look into some of the worst finishes in wrestling history for various reasons. There undoubtedly will be a part 2 to this, so if there's something that we've mentioned that you want to disagree with, bracing myself for a tidal wave of Styles Clash abuse here, or if you think there's something that we haven't mentioned that you're going, oh, what about? And then you're going to insert the name of a move that we haven't mentioned yet.
You're
Burning Truth social media. Get on it and politely inform us.
You're expecting the abuse of AJ Styles, Michelle McCool. I'm expecting plenty of abuse over Matt Riddle and Cesaro.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming, and we shall expect it and brace ourselves unduly. But like I say, all across Burning Truth social media, if you want to berate us for our choices or go, oi, you forgot one, politely, obviously, please do, because we may mention you if you leave your name or internet handle or whatever.
It's not a mess. We will.
We'll credit you if you can be bothered to get in touch, because, we're good like that.
Yeah, why not? But anyway, we digress, but that's about it for this week's episode. We'll get on to the plugs, which I will state I have reduced somehow.
Oh, majestic. Are they only 45 minutes long now?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 potentially.
Massively reduced from the 4,312.
Wait. 19 bullet pointed ones, I might add.
Good Lord. Right, in that case, I will briefly take a back seat, take a deep breath, and away you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the plugs of the Burning Truth, so please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Of course, if you are willing to learn, if you are interested in learning to wrestle, please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. Beginners class are on Monday, £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. For all location details, please check out their social media. We, of course, recommend you check out JFX3D for all championship belts to be made, and possibly any other assortments. We, of course, also recommend you check out charities like Mind, Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Changes Recovery Radio. We recommend you check that out. We, of course, recommend you check out Messy for Mine, Donna Louise as well. All great charities. Absolutely knock it out the park. And the information that they provide on there, and of course on their shows as such with the Change Recovery Radio, is useful. Because the information you do find on there could prove useful and could be life-changing. You never know. We of course always recommend you check out the lighter side of wrestling, of course. None other than, probably some of these moves that we've already mentioned have probably been on some of these places. Be it either Botchamania, WrestleCrap, or OSW Review. You're welcome, Matthew.
You're welcome, RD. Thank you for keeping us entertained.
And of course, you're also welcome, guys, at OSW. We of course recommend you all to check out Pull or Pass radio show, hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams, where you can find all your DC, Marvel, and geeky needs.
Indeed, ably hosted by the frankly fantastic Magic Mark.
And of course, we also recommend you check out fellow broadcasting podcasters, none other than Weird Independent, Train Pop Culture, Think Wrestling, of course. And of course, for any party needs that you may have, we also recommend you check out www.fabaluni.co.uk, where it's party time all the time, where there's party packages, soft play and bouncer castle, magic shows, mini disco, face painting and glitter art, stilt walking, moon or balloon modelling, balloon decorating, fire and illusion shows.
Back deep breath. Wow, lots on offer there.
Of course, we also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music UK, where they actually do the actual theme music for us, as in the Burning Truth.
Fantastic.
That's how good they are. We actually use them for the Burning Truth. And of course, not many of you may know this, or if you've been checking out my social media, and of course their social media, a lot of you will have noticed that myself, I've actually had some custom-made music done by them, which is dubbed Pottery's Powerhouse. I can honestly say,
somehow appropriate.
I will state, absolutely highly recommend them for any custom-made music. Fantastic and all-round great people to know. Honestly, I think the world of them, and they do custom-made music for great prizes. £50 for any of the originals that they've got on offer, and £60 for custom-made music.
Custom made, as in not heard anywhere else, made exclusively for you and usable wherever you want, be it to just play really loudly on your phone every time you walk into a supermarket if you want to pretend to be a wrestler, to use on your broadcast, podcast, YouTube channel, or any other form of entertainment that you might be a part of or generally just to sit in your room listening to on repeat if you so wish.
Correct. Or if you're feeling a bit rocky.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd get that one out there. But anyway,
I'm just going to leave that there.
Moving on, we recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV for all your British wrestling independent scenes needs. And how much for?
Oh, sorry. Might have been stuck on the JFX 3D Twitter page there. Please forgive me. For $3.99 a month.
$3.99 a month. Where you get to see 30 plus wrestling companies, UKWA included,
all of whom are relatively frequently putting new content on every time they have a new show.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they may even also do special free viewership deals, where if you want to check out a certain product for so many, certain trial periods on there as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
and the added bonus as well is, if you would like to support your favourite company who is on Turnbuckle TV, then when you go to sign up, go to www.turnbuckletv.com/ the name of your promotion in question. Let's say UKWA, for example, although you can use any of the companies on the site. And not only will you pay for all that content, but a small portion of the fee will go towards helping your favourite company
As well.
To
progress further.
Indeed.
But anyway, of course, we also recommend you check out all your local wrestling shows.
Wherever you are in the country.
Of course. Just to point out, what local shows can we mention? How about Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling, The Barracks Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, United Wrestling, and any more?
Future Shock Wrestling, Progress Wrestling, ICW, PBW, Falling Star Wrestling, NGW, Wolf Run Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, and many, many, many more. Oh, and if there are more that we haven't thought of, or if you're in an area that you don't think we've represented, there's a way you know where your nearest wrestling show is.
Of course. But
and
anyway,
that is free.
Whoa. Let's just go back a bit.
Rewind
a little bit.
Back up. Rewind.
Correct, let's just rewind a little bit. And let me just point out that the Barracks Wrestling have actually got a show on Monday, which is tomorrow.
Awesome.
And United Wrestling's got a show on Friday.
Will you be at one, all, or both of those?
I will be at least one of them.
Epic stuff. That's good news. Which means you can tell us all about it on next week's show.
Correct, which will be none other than United. I will be actually at the United Wrestling show, which, to be honest with you, they've actually reduced the price for the month.
Ooh.
To find out more
As if
you
weren't tempted to go enough already. There's the kicker.
Find out more about that. Check out their social media. And the Barracks Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken, it's a free show.
Ooh.
So check them out.
Nothing quite like a free show to get you in the door to make you go, well, that was good. If they're only going to charge me a $5 or a $10, whatever, normally, I have no problem coming back here and supporting my local wrestling. So
and
a good ploy by those guys.
And one more special announcement for Pro Wrestling for You.
Ooh.
A match has been announced at On the Rocks, which is occurring, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on the I'm just double checking me dates now, if it's the 3rd or 4th. I believe it's the 4th of January. Let me just double check that right now for you, ladies and gentlemen.
That is the next show for the Potteries Premier Promotion, Pro Wrestling for You, which Mr. Matt Burns is now just popular internet search engineering to make sure he's got the details right. Hence why I am absolutely filling and trying to kill time while he just makes sure that it's right. If he doesn't hurry up in a minute, I'm going to have to start humming, so I hope he's nearly done. But Pro Wrestling for You, he's checking out when the show is.
Actually, I apologise in regards to the dates. It's actually in February. It's the Sunday, the 2nd of February.
Ah, okay. Well, it's a good job we clarified. At least now we know for sure.
100%. It's Sunday, the 2nd of February, 2020. For Pro Wrestling for You on the Rocks. And what an interesting match we have.
Does it involve a certain Mr. Matt Burns?
It does, but let me just state my opponents.
Okay, I'm sat down. I've braced myself. You can go now.
The Myatt Legacy.
Hang on. Whoa, record scratch. What? You against both of them?
I am fighting the Myatt Legacy.
Are they gonna give you the benefit of your own tag team partner here, or?
I have got a tag team partner. And this is where it's going to quite shock you.
Your tag team partner to face the Myatt Legacy is Ryan Myatt.
Nope.
In a twist no one saw coming because it makes absolutely no sense.
Well, Ryan Myatt is part of the, Myatt Legacy.
I did just say it made no sense. I was just messing.
It's actually
your
somebody.
Tag team partner is.
It is somebody I don't usually get on with.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down.
It does, especially seeing as he is somebody who has been a thorn in my side at UKWA.
a thorn in your side? Is that a pun intended on the person's name?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, so it's not
Not at
Alton
all.
Thorn then.
It is not Alton Thorn.
Hang on, someone who you don't get on with at UKWA. You don't mean.
He is notorious for calling others dossers. He is notorious, and this person also has a bone to pick with the Myatt legacy as well. He is also the current reigning UKWA King of the
Defending.
Kingdom champion.
Oh, so it's not Dougie
other-
Matthews then.
None other than Charles Kelsey.
Well, if you two can stay on the same page, I'd be worried if I was the Myatt legacy, because the combined force of you two, provided you don't end up battering each other, is enough to put, the second thoughts for most people, I'd say.
Let's just say they've riled us up that much. We are putting our differences aside.
There you go.
The fact that we've even considered even possibly revealing a name for the team, potentially.
Oh. Well, if you want to give that away now, you can. If not, we totally understand why, but
We might be dubbing ourselves none other than Smashmouth XL.
I see. Potential for that team to go further if all goes well. I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's one match you don't want to miss. And let me just state this. Both myself and Kelsey have got a bone to pick with the Myatts, especially with the free kicks that they've been taking.
Indeed.
And let's just say this. If we have our way, they won't be kicking anymore.
So, you've got to get yourself to Pro Wrestling for You on, when was it? February the
2nd, on a Sunday.
2nd. Sunday,
Because-
February the 2nd, to find
because-
out how that goes down.
Yep, that's correct. But anyway, we digress anyway. We're digressing anyway. But
We are.
ladies and gentlemen, to check out all your local promotion needs, we of course recommend you to check out, a certain app on your phone, which is for free.
Downloadable for free, and in it you can find your favourite wrestlers, the shows they appear on, and much more besides.
Of course, you can also, research your wrestling companies, local wrestling companies. Check out some blogs on there as well, which is none other than Babyface Wrestling UK. And like we said, it is free, great price. So there's no excuse for not
Fantastic
checking
price.
out your local
the best
wrestling.
price.
And of course, we also recommend you check out the Burning Truth website, www.theburningtruthuk.com. You know what's on there, of course. We mention it every week, but let me just point out all external links on the links page. We cannot be held responsible for, because we do not control external websites. And of course, all of our social media, and we have got past episodes on Spotify.
There's a joke in there that we barely control the content of our own pages, but I'll not go there.
I understand. I like how you did that there. But anyway, that's going to be a wrap up for this week. Of course, we always recommend you all to check out your local wrestling as always. And before we go, let us just state this for one thing for sure. Don't just look after yourself physically. Of course, look after yourself mentally, please. As we always state, your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
And, of course, as we also always state, if for any reason you think it might be the case, it's okay to not be okay, and there is no weakness in asking for help.
100% agree with JB on that, and it's something I do want to 100% agree with. It is okay to not be okay, and of course, like JB just said, it is not a weakness to ask for help, and who knows, you could end up finding out that you are more loved than you even realised.
Than you ever possibly realised.
Correct, because there is so much help around. But anyway,
Absolutely.
we're going to leave it on that, and hopefully catch you next week, possibly for the Burning Truth for the wrestling. Who knows? We could be even releasing some specials, because I believe we have actually done a pre-recorded episode, bringing back an old Tooley's name from The Burning Truth?
Oh, yes, we have. Shall we give away what it is, or should we just be cryptic and leave it at that?
Let's just say it's TBT Games, but you'll find out when that drops out what we're on about.
Whenever we decide to put that out, it may be soon. It probably won't be tomorrow, let's be honest, but it may be soon. But either way, it will be a bonus episode, and we'll be back talking about wrestling same time next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. But ladies and gentlemen, stay well, stay safe, and catch you next week. And please check out your local wrestling.
Thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.
Catch you later. You're listening to The Burning Truth. Actually, just before you go, I just thought I'd just interrupt the outro. Like we have stated before, be safe, be well, and we'll catch you next week.